Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we are getting ready for our panel discussion. This is on smart tooling, accelerating technology adoption in Indian tool rooms. And as we get prepared for this, we're just going to take a little bit, like maybe 30 seconds of your time while we get all of our stage ready for the panel discussion. After this, we just have another 2-3 sessions pending, and we have the lucky draw that's going to happen post that. In the next, I think 5-7 minutes, we're going to start handing over the feedback forms, and you can start filling it up. And you can leave it on your tables, because during the session, we don't want you standing up and, disturbing anyone. We'll get our team to pick it up. But if you're giving it towards the end of the sessions, then you can give it to the desk right here. The feedback forms will start coming to you in the next couple of seconds. Please fill it up with your comments. Please fill it up and let us know what do you think. It is imperative for us to get to know what your thoughts are. And then we have the lucky draw. We have 5 lucky draws that are happening this evening, and we have a special prize as well that's going out to one lucky winner today. So let's find out Tuesday's lucky for whom today. As we get prepared, I'm going to start inviting all of our wonderful panelists and of course our moderator for this session. And as we begin this, please join me in welcoming all of them as enthusiastically as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions, in case they do have time pending, they will take it up. Otherwise, once again, we'd like to encourage you to take it offline. May I please welcome Ms. Sandhya Pandey, Site Director, Philips India. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. We have Mr. Anand Wankhede, Senior GM, Tooling, Schnider Electric India Private Limited. Mr. Gopal Kabra, Director, VEM Tooling India Private Limited. Mr. Mohit Narayan, Deputy General Manager, Force Motors Limited, and our wonderful moderator, Mr. Steffen, Domay, Head of Global Product Management, FIBRO. Ladies and gentlemen, all of our panelists you can see are joining us here all together. And may I request you to keep clapping as they join us and take their seats and settle down for this one. With that, let me hand it over to Mr. Domay. All to your expertise, sir.
Hello together. So, first of all, I would like to tell you that this is my 4th time at the TACMA event. So the first 3 times I had the pleasure to be a speaker, to have a technical presentations about also what's part here. New technologies like FlexCam systems, controllable gas spring, WPM, spring blankers, dampers and stuff like that. And now I'm more than happy to moderate these panelists. So, accelerating technology adoption. Why this is important. So when we take a look back into the history and when we speak about industry revolutions, the first one was in the 18th century. There, the industrial revolution was steam power. The second one, and this is related to tool and die making as well, was in the 19th century, the mass production. So only with tool and die technology, with tool and die, you are able to handle mass production in the 19th century. Then in 2010, it started the third industrial revolution, big data, and now we speak about AI. So we see from a history context that it's all accelerating. So, and it's an absolutely must that in every region and in every company and in every situation we have to accelerate the technologies and use it to make our companies and our businesses more efficient. So, coming to the panelists. So at everybody, I have a question, and for warm up, it would be nice that you are answering it quickly in 1 to 2 sentences. How would you describe the current status of digital technology adoption at MSME die shops in India, from your point of view, compared with other regions or industry? So what is your impressions about Indian MSME coming to technology? Mr. Gopal, please.
Myself, I am Gopal Kabra. Of course, in Indian tooling industry, when we speak in context of taking adaptation of the digital technologies, is very, very low compared to the other relative industry. When I see our customers or their customers, starting from OEM tier 1, still the adaptation is low, but they are catching up. So there is a positive trend, but speed is very low.
Mr. Mohit, what is your opinion?
So the feeling is similar. There is a partnership requirement is there because most of the Indian tool rooms are MSME and they are small in nature. So there is a partnership required with OEMs where OEMs can guide them and bring the technology on the place because OEM can buy the technology and they can handhold instead of going to other country for giving the orders. They should rely on India and there is a very well scope. With this partnership, technology upgradation can be done very fast and we are at par with any other industry in the world. Except on the fast-moving technology, we have to catch up.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm aligned with what my co-panelist has said. MSME sector is catching up. They always look at their big brother, their tier 2, tier 1 and OEM supplier. The MSME industry today is still in the dilemma against return on investment, what strategy, what to digitize. And in all those dilemmas, they are finding it challenging to drive those digitization unless their customers, as you mentioned, specifically request them to drive those digitization and automation in their production. So right now we are in that particular situation. And I think very soon I am confident with new initiatives, very soon we will move ahead from this situation.
So the level of technology, what you say, is coming from the from an OEM tier 1 perspective to the die maker.
That's right, yeah. We'll talk more about when we proceed into the discussions.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good afternoon. It's really challenging for all of us to keep you awake, but we'll try to make it more interesting. First of all, I'm thankful to Tagma for inviting us to share our experience with you. I'll take the lead from what Madam said. I think it is not appropriate to compare MSME tool rooms, digital technology implementation vis-a-vis other industries, because other industries are far matured, they are far ahead. So still I'll try to give a comparison, whatever I observed. So look at the ecosystem. Ecosystems, there are 3 members. One is the OEM, second is the tier 1, and the third is the tool maker. So I will put on 1 to 10 scale, even all three segments where it lies. This is my personal opinion. Even in OEM, the OEM having tool room, in-house tool room, if I rate them on readiness on digital technology, they may be around 6 to 7 on 1 to 10 scale. Now come to the next level, that is tier 1. Probably they are 4 to 5. And when you talk about the tertiary level tool makers, I'm sorry to make this statement, is 2 to 3. But this is average score what I'm talking about. But when we see the entire value stream, right from customer relation to dispatch, maybe design, project management, process planning, manufacturing, assembly, and so on. So there are certain value points where our tool makers are very much advanced. For example, in design, almost everybody is using high-end CAD/CAM software, correct? Many of you are using CA tools, or they may have in-house installation of CA tools, or they are taking services. Many people are also started using Microsoft spreadsheets to collect the data. The question is, there are a lot of dots are there. We need to start connecting those.
Connecting the dots, yeah. So, Mr. Gopal, What are the toughest challenges when convincing customers to accept advanced tooling solutions?
See, the toughest challenge comes from rigidity at their end, because they had a very low flexibility. When it comes to OEM, they have their own standards, requirements. It comes to tier 2, they had their own procedures. So flexibility for tooling or giving a solution is become very difficult. That is number one. And the second reason behind this is the launch time from OEM and tier 1 and the negotiation time. It eats away the complete suggestion or development time. So what happens is the tool maker only left with the pressure of delivering the tool instead of having some technical discussions or idea or suggestion. This is what we came across.
Thank you. Mr. Mohit, in automotive tool and die environment, speed, cost, and precision are non-negotiable. How can digital tools help to meet this demand more efficient?
So, when you come to the tool room, the most important thing is the precision and quality of the tool. We have to deliver the right part at the right time as per the OEM requirements. So speed, time, quality and cost is all important. And to match everything is a challenge, as he says rightly. There is a pressure comes on the tool maker at the end, because a lot of time goes in design correction, negotiation, purchase, and finally when the design, raw design comes, even GD&T is not ready, and then tool maker have been asked to do the things. So we are not equipped as the China has equipped. The China tool rooms are far advanced. When the RFQ comes, they are confident the order will come, and they do the basic design and basic things, and the tool design is ready at that time only. So we have to start thinking in that way, and we have to start working in that direction so that our efficiency and our cost and quality, everything can be achieved in the way our counterparts like China, Korea, people are doing. Is that answer?
What would be a digital tool to help to make the demand of precision and cost reduction more effective? So can you name your favorite digital tool to do that?
So if you say everything is getting digitalized, and we have to really adopt in our industry all kind of the softwares, especially when we are coming to the design part, we have all kind of softwares available. We have to be more efficient in the Microsoft, or you can say project management, because where we are lacking our tool makers and bridging the gap is the project management. So project management tool is such way that it should start from the raw material order to delivery of the part, means T0 and T1, so that everything can be tracked down from the day 1 to the day end. And that kind of the software installation and adaptation of that software is required, so that everything is available real time to the customer as well as us, and there is no lags in between. So I will say the software management for project management is the most important tool which we have to adopt. The tools are available, but it should be more simpler so that it could be adaptable to everybody very easily.
Thank you. Sandhya, madam, to get us everybody on the same page, could you briefly explain the difference between Industry 4.0 and 5.0 and how this difference can turn the shift into a real competitive advantage?
I think that's very critical thoughts actually. You already mentioned the Industry 4.0 started in 2010, and Industry 5.0, the concept of Industry 5.0 was coined in one of the exhibition in Hamburg in 2017. But it started popularizing and deployment really into 2020. When 2010, Industry 4.0 started coming in, the focus was more onto the automation, robotics, bringing the efficiency, bringing the more productivity into the whole process. And when this was supposed to achieve, the human factor related to the human was given the second priority. And that's where the most of the industry 4.0, it talks about only automations without human interventions into that. The classical examples, if you know the concept, digital twins or the dark industry, right? What does that mean? That eliminate the human from the shop floor and do the complete automation. So those were the concepts came into the industry 4.0. But that complete paradigm shift has come in industry 5.0, where the human factor came back again into the discussions, and the theme which European Union they use actually is that bring back human into the manufacturing, and that's the theme of 5.0. So in that 5.0, whatever automation, whatever digitization you do it with the human-centric approach. That was very critical change, or that was a very different thought process which started driving into 5.0. And that's where from robot to cobot has came into picture. Cobot is the human-assisted robot actually. The another factor which came into the picture was the sustainability in 5.0. How your manufacturing, the whole concept of manufacturing is helping your environment, your mother earth, and how are you driving those sustainability. And that's where the reuse, repurpose, recycle, those kind of concepts, carbon, those kind of concepts have started coming into that. Now, is 4.0 and 5.0 has to be looked into a different perspective? I will say no. It has to be looked into the common perspective. Some of the areas into 4.0 like digitization, artificial intelligence, to some level the robotics, wherever it is applicable, is still applicable, but when you are doing it as a part of your 5.0 conceptualization, additive manufacturing or human-centric manufacturing like cobot, you can start driving those things. So from my point of view, though there is a change into the concept from full automation, a human-less factory in the manufacturing, to human-centric approach into the manufacturing and bring back human into the manufacturing. But again, both needs to be complement to each other. And if someone is looking into implementing Industry 4.0 or 5.0, look into the complementing of both together, because we are still in India, we are still migrating to the 4.0, and there is a long way go to the 5.0. So looking into both as a complementing to each other will be the best approach for MSME in India to drive the digitization and automation.
Thank you. Mr. Anand, from a tool and die sourcing perspective, what are the expectations from tool makers when it comes to technology readiness? What are the typical roadblocks?
Okay, so I think I'll catch up the very key word in this particular question. They said technology. So I'll just read, I asked Google, what is technology? So technology refers to application of scientific knowledge for a practical purpose, often involving tools, techniques, and systems created to solve problems and improve lives. Unfortunately, whenever we discuss about technology, what comes in our mind is a very high-end CNC machine. If it is 3-axis now, then it is 5-axis. If it is 5-axis, coupled with robots. But I strongly believe today the biggest challenge which our MSME tool rooms are facing or going to face, how they are going to retain the knowledge. Now, and how they are going to pass on the knowledge. Here I am suggesting that they should use a technology, maybe a software component or maybe a home-driven knowledge management system where all knowledges are captured. Now, once knowledge is captured, it's a data, and once the data is available, then you can automate. You can use AI, correct? So what I'm suggesting right now is for tool makers, don't think of implementing very high-end technologies, so-called technology like software components or maybe machines or robots. First start capturing your knowledge, because tooling industry is all about knowledge. Today, if somebody adds 10, 15 CNC machines, you cannot call that person as a tool maker. He's a machine shop. To become tool maker, you should have a knowledge. So I think the biggest challenge right now is how we are going to manage the knowledge. Once you have knowledge, capture it and then automate it. Now for automation, you can use all the digital tools what are available. I think you can start with capturing the data because somebody said if you can measure something, you can improve. So start simply measuring what you are doing, good or bad. One day it will improve. I don't feel there is a need of very high-end rocket technology in this.
So also this is something which in Europe is so far really important based on the mega trend of silver society. So the population in Europe is getting older and older and older. And so one of the biggest challenges in Europe is how we can store the knowledge from the older people who going in retirement. And what we are using is large language-based AI models, where we either put all the documentation and the standards into it, but also by voice-driven with interview technique. So then it's getting more trivial and more realistic. Thank you for pointing that out. So, Mr. Gopal, as a tool maker, what has been your journey in adopting digital tools and what measurable benefits have you seen so far?
Can you please repeat?
So, as a tool maker, what has been your journey in adopting digital tools and how those digital tools made measurable benefits?
Okay, we are talking of a digital tool, right?
Yeah.
So as a digital tool, we spoke in the beginning also about the MSME industry. Adaptation of a digital tool is on a lower end, okay? That is one. But having said that, we as a VM still having a multinational base, we use the plant tool softwares on the shop floor. We use many, of course, CAD/CAM integration with the machines. And we also keep all those records for the years so that that can be, see again, ultimately, as Mr. Anand rightly mentioned, we are talking of a database. So we are collecting a database. Right now, VM has 8,500 mold database. Now we are doing a tie-up with outside agency to analyze those all mold database and try to make some simulation like AI to automate certain thing or give some standard output instead of scratching the head once again. So these are the practices we started, but I don't think that as an industry it is possible for everyone. This is my thought process.
Thank you. Mr. Mohit, besides project management supporting softwares, please can you share a global best practice in tooling that you think Indian MSME tool makers can adapt within the next 3 till 6 months?
So, question is a very good question, but not as simple to answer because that is what is the challenge MSME and all the tool rooms are facing. As I say, initially I say there is a partnership required with the OEMs because maybe all MSME is not equipped for investing in a big way. So the small changes can be done with the help of the AI, and AI can be used in all respect of our life. Start from the design, simulation, to tool designing, to manufacturing, tool selection, ordering, inventory management, and so on and so forth. So that is the simplest thing we can start because that is the simplest tool available, free of cost, which can be done in immediate basis. And I think most of the people are using it, but we have to be more adaptive how to use it because using AI is also a challenge. How you ask the AI the things to be done, that required a skill. So maybe that small training, a small understanding is required, and with the help of that, immediate basis, we can improve our efficiency by 10 to 15%. And in a longer way, as I say, we have to start investing in some of the toolings. But as rightly said, The tool making is not only the technology, tool making is not only the CNC machines, tool making is not only the getting the best of the software, tool making is the knowledge, skills, which we all people have acquired in years together. I remember my time when I joined my engineering in tool and mold making. There was a German experts and they are training us how to make S7, G6 tolerances and the slide fits. I don't think nowadays any of the tool maker can able to make the S7, G6 slide fit by hand, by the filing. So those skills, when you know the knowledge, you know the bookish knowledge, but you have to acquire that knowledge, and that knowledge has to be further used with the help of AI tools, which is the easiest going thing going forward.
Thank you. So this brings me to an idea. So how about the Indian IT business is well known all over the world. So how about we try to combine the knowledge storage, the knowledge sharing from the die makers with some software companies and creating local or internal or company-driven AI FAQs. Sandhya, madam. Many MSMEs are hesitating to invest in advanced tech because of return of invest uncertainty. What are the most effective ways to build confidence before making that leap?
Yeah, thanks for getting that question to me. And this is my, and I can definitely put very good insights on these aspects because my 360-degree journey is there. I worked in MSME sector, I work in Tier 1, I work with OEMs. I have seen all the sides of all these industries. And maybe my thought process may be a little different. But let me put forward my thoughts. First of all, MSME industry, and this is my thought process, you need to first understand where do you need the digitization, where do you need the automation, where do you need the robots and cobots. Okay, this is what I called is as a understanding your own requirements and your own needs. I will not suggest that you just go behind these technologies because everybody is driving or because you will stay behind if you don't deploy this kind of technology. Now, how do you define the strategy? How do you define which is area you want to automate or which is area you want to digitize? Then look at your customer. What is expectations from your customer? What are you giving to the customer? Right? And while meeting the customer satisfaction or while meeting the customer's requirement, what are your pain areas? Are you falling short into the productivity? Are you suffering with the operational cost? Are you getting the excess rejections? Are you having excess wastage into your system? Find it out which are the areas which are causing the concerns for your overall operation as well as impacting on your customer satisfaction. So find out those areas and build those areas related to the digitization and automations in your strategy. The third aspect is your customer is demanding you to put certain automation, digitization technology in your shop. Look at those areas. Why customer is demanding that? What is the benefit for you with that particular customer? How you can scale it or how do you use it for your other customers also? Look into those aspects and then decide, okay, this is the right area to drive the digitization or automations in my factory. Now remember, automation is not only from the robots or the cobots. You have many areas where you can use the IoTs, industrial sensors, many areas like softwares. So you can start driving those kind of digitization automations before you reach to the robotics and the cobotics area for that. The next area of looking into where do you want to drive this is that, is there any area which is a repetitive production, you have a high quantity and you can drive the automation and free your engineers, tool makers, or the technicians to do the other work. So it is a repetitive kind of work, high production kind of work, then that is the one area which you can use for the automation kind of thing. So why I am trying to give this kind of example, because these are the areas where you can really start thinking, do I need really build the strategies based on all these considerations? And if that is that answer is yes, then here ROI is not only in terms of the money what you are spending, but it also in terms of what you are getting in terms of tangible and intangible benefits. When I say tangible benefits, it will directly see into your operational excellence, your efficiency, productivity, rejections will go up. And intangible benefits is your quality will improve, customer satisfaction will improve, you will able to generate more business from the same customer, or you can scale your business to the other customer. So ROI should not be looked only into the financial returns, but you also need to look into how I am going to get both tangible and non-tangible benefits out of all this. And the third thing which is very, very important is that if I deploy this digitization, industrialization, will I able to sustain that automation, that digitization? Do I have a skill? We discussed that how do we build the skilled force. So do I have an ability to sustain that level of automation and digitization? Do I need to reskill, upskill my workforce which I am having? Do I need to bring the lateral hiring? Do I need to already expert person? Will I able to build that level of efficiency, that level of skill in my organization? So these are all factors you consider and then you take the decision. Many times, just because my neighbor has a robotics, I will buy the robotics, or my labor is driving the automation, I need to drive that automation. Otherwise, I will feel behind into the competition. My suggestion to MSME, and I give this suggestion a few years back, I was a consultant, so I am giving all this suggestion to all the MSME industries that look at your industry, look at your production, look at your shop floor, look at your manufacturing, and then look at your customer, and then build your strategy, and then adopt those technologies and automation. My suggestion is do not blindly run behind the digitization, automation, and all these technologies unless until you personally build the strategy, you customer demand the strategy, you yourself find that this can be beneficial from current, future and next generation point of view. My thought may be little bit different, but this is what I give advice every time I meet any MSME, and they find it very helpful to decide and develop their strategies.
Thank you. So this reminds me of a joke which I try to localize later. Mr. Anand, we are all here to inspire yourself to accelerate technology adoption. Can you share an example where technology adoption significantly improved the tooling projects in your operation?
Yeah, in fact, this question is very close to my heart, so I'll try to share quickly. So we have been developing tools for last 25 years for electrical business. The first 10-15 years, I've seen where my machine operators, I had a minimum of 25 years of experience running the same machine, and all my tool makers, they were of my father age. Then with this workforce, we used to work. We have achieved very high level of quality, lowest lead time at lowest cost. But what happens when we started our new unit at Gujarat, after closing down the unit at Mumbai, we lost our all experienced workforce. We quickly added infrastructure, we quickly added the machines. From where you will get the skill. So we started training school. So when we started training school, the day one our experience was zero, but my customer was standing in front of me asking same or higher quality tool, maybe at lower lead time at lowest cost, what to do. So we started a journey. So last 10 years, we use technology very extensively, not robotation, I'm saying capturing the knowledge from our mistakes, and we build small systems. So when you ask, give me example, so I'll give example like 10 years, first 10 years was of experience. next 10 years of expertise. So what we did, we have actually started de-skilling all our operations. It will be very strange for you to hear that a tool maker is talking about de-skilling. But today, if you come and witness in our shops are completely manned by inexperienced, uneducated girls. CMM, EDM machines, wire cut machines, tool assembly. Everywhere we have inexperienced and uneducated. But I also have a largest pool of talented engineers who are actually doing the planning work. So what we have done, we have used the technology in planning. So we are taking sufficient time in planning. By virtue of that, our execution is so simple that today anybody can come and execute it. So this is what a difference I found when we added technology in operations. So-called, we call tool making is a skill-based business. At least the execution part, we have de-skilled it.
Taking a look at the time, one last question individually for everybody. Mr. Gopal, how do you approach integrating automation and IoT into the tooling value chain?
Again, it is the MSME industry. We are talking of tool making, IoT, so this still, it is a big mismatch at this moment. It is at very raw. Although we saw one presentation from Mr. Narayan, CAD Pro, so he was showing about IoT for tooling industry. I think it will catch up, but it needs some volume, it needs some hand-holding from customer, then only the things will start. If you allow me, I wish to take one opinion poll from people. So if there are any commercial tool room guys who has implemented IoT, can you raise your hands? Commercial tool room with IoT. So I can see only one hand raised. So this is a reality of situation. So I think we need to just talk of industry 0.1, 1.0, 2.0. This is where the steps are going to start. This is my opinion.
Thank you. Mr. Mohit, from your perspective, what role do collaboration between OEMs and tool makers play in accelerating technology upgrades in India?
Yeah, that is very, very important question, and that is the need of the hour. I will say, as an OEM, I already said that OEM has to come forward and not only giving the order for the tooling to the MSAB industry, they have to make the tool rooms as a partner so that in the new technology like IoT, AI, and all other new toolings, there could be a kind of partnership, means OEM can have a main software, they can buy a software, and that can be further extended to the tool maker. Means like we have a dealer management system or CRM system, that software can be bought by the OEMs and further arms can be extended to the tool rooms. That could be one possibility. Another possibility is there where OEM can support MSME tool rooms to help them or fund them directly, indirectly. It can be amortized in kind of the buying back that money or buying back that software, so that MSME can invest into that kind of the requirements and the kind of the technology. And with that hand-holding, things can work as a partnership, because small things, I will take one more minute. I remember my earlier days in tool room when we have the very difficulty for flowing of the tool material in the shop floor. So there was a lot of mismatch. Material has been given, not given, milling has been done in first shift, second shift, third shift, turning has been done or not done, items mismatch. Then we introduced the route card and progress card. Progress card was there on the one planner's table, and then one person keep updating. That can be digitized immediately. That can be done maybe with the QR code or maybe a scanner, and that material can be scanned so that you know what is the progress of your tool. How many parts are turned, how many parts are milled, how many parts are done. That we can get the data from the milling, turning, grinding, surface grinding, all the sections, EDMs, and can be stored in one place. So everything is digitally available, and with that availability, the planner or any tool room manager can track what is the status of the tool in my tool shop. I think that is a very simple approach which we can start, and we can very well go implement it, and will be very, very well successful and helpful to everyone in a very simplified way. Maybe think on this, we can discuss offline because there is no time. So I have a lot of ideas in that which can be helpful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sandhya, madam, looking ahead to Industry 4.0, 5.0, what critical skills will MSME tool makers need to not just adapt but also thrive for the future?
Actually, this is a very challenging problem for MSME industry, and you touched upon that. The workforce which is actually working on the machines, how do you bring them into rescale and upscale into this kind of technologies? This is one of the biggest challenge for the deployment of these technologies in MSME industry. But there is again a thought process, and I want to throw this idea. The person or the technician who is actually operating the machines, do you expect him to do the program, right? And in our standard working process, that program is done by the engineer, right? So you need to have a combination of the skilled required for the automation. Earlier days, if I remember when I graduated and I started working on the shop floor, I remember Siemens CNC programmer was there on machine. And you can just do the only 2D kind of programs on that machine. But as I graduated, with my experience, I started using the CAD/CAM tools where I used to do the 3D programming. But how I was doing is, I was making the 3D program and I was giving it to the operator to run. You will all recollect that there was RS32 transmissions, right? From machine directly you send it to the CNC machine, right? I feel today also the similar kind of skills we need to develop actually. That you need to bring the team who really understands that technology, who understands the robotics program if you have a program, who understands the Power BI if he is driving certain data and deriving some decision makings out of those data. You need to bring the skills who understands the AI, machine learning. You need to bring the skills and train them and rescale them. But the person who is actually working on the machine tool has to do only the execution of that. So you need to have a combination of the skills who, with that combination, you can really deploy the technology at your workshop. Having said that, you can still reskill your workforce. If your workforce has an ability, if your workforce is learnable, you can still do the reskill and upskill of your workforce and make them ready for delivering and driving those technology. And based on my experience, I can definitely tell you that these people are very quick learners. And if you give them an appropriate training, they can literally drive this technology. And another benefit of rescaling and upscaling this workforce is that they will stay with you. If you have a separate team who is driving this technology, you will see the continuous churn into them. Retaining them will become a challenge from the MSME point of view, because their eyes are always having bigger companies, and that's the problem you will face. So you have to navigate to this kind of different challenges and find it out what is the golden mean to really build that skill, either at a front end who are really operating the machines, and the technologists who are really driving that technology towards the front end.
Thank you. Before we come to the last round, I would like to emotionalize all of you. Many of your statements reminded me of following story. So there was this company, and this company was developing a wire which was so thin that not even their quality department was able to measure this wire, the diameter. So they asked around, who can measure the diameter of this wire? They went to America, asked them, no capabilities. They went to China, asked them, no capabilities to measure the diameter of this wire. So Indian quality department heard that story, was asking for this wire, and asked, please let me try to measure the diameter of your world thinnest wire which you developed. After some weeks, they get the feedback. The diameter of the wire is 0.005 micron. So the company was asking, how did you achieve that? How were you able to measure that? I will tell you that later, but first answer me. Should we cut a thread on the outside diameter, or should we drill a hole in the inside diameter? So the moral of that story is not because your neighbor has a roboter or your neighbor has a 5-axis machine or what else. Everything needs to have a purpose. Let's concentrate on that. So based on the purpose, last round, really quick round, and this question goes to everybody. We will start with Mr. Anand. Considering you would build a greenfield MSME die shop, you have to choose between all the existing digital enablers, considering also smart dies. What would be the bare minimum you would establish immediately?
Can you repeat the question?
Imagine you would build now an MSME die shop. What would be the bare minimum of digital enablers which you would put into your company immediately?
Yeah, okay. So in fact, I was very fortunate to experience this 10 years ago because I built a greenfield tool making facility. So again, right from day one, I was very clear that I want to exploit the technology. So whatever equipment we are buying, those should be communication enabled. So when buying CNC machine, you should think that I should put a communication card in the CNC machine that tomorrow, if at all time comes, it will start talking to robo or it will start talking to another machine. So this is one, because it will be a marginal cost. When you're buying very high-end machine, it will be very marginal cost to make that machine communication enabled. So this is what I'm suggesting. If at all I want to start once again, I'll buy all the machines which are communication enabled, because this AI platform, digitization platforms, everything is readily available.
Thank you.
If your equipments are not capable of getting integrated with this, it is of no use.
Thank you.
And this is a very interesting question, and I will answer it in a one sentence. I will build all that infrastructure which is a future ready. Digitization, communication, IIoT, everything which I can, even if I cannot use it today, but looking at the future, because these are the one-time investment, this is your fixed assist. So I will buy all those equipments which are future ready, even if their utilization today is at a minimal level. But looking at the future, I will buy all those equipment which are future ready.
Thank you, Mr. Mohit.
My answer is similar, future ready organization, and all IoTs, AI enabled, Wi-Fi enabled factory, a smart tool room, with the smart people. That should be the aim.
They already answered my question, your question. So I am with them.
So thank you all. Have a big applause for the end for the panelists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
A big thank you to all of our panelists and thank you to our wonderful moderator. Thank you so much. May I please request Mr. Domay to hand over a token of felicitation to each of our panelists. To Ms. Sandhya Pandey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking her. Mr. Anand Wankhede. Mr. Gopal Kabra. Mr. Mohit Narayan. May I please request Mr. Ajit Gupta to join us, CC member. May I request Mr. Gupta to hand over token of felicitation to our wonderful moderator, Mr. Steffen Domay. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. What a wonderful session that we just had. May we request all of you to join us ahead of the tables for a group picture.